listening to Sports Talk 916 with Greg Bull and Coach Greg Veroza.
If you'd like to participate in the show, there are a couple of ways to do it. If you want to contact us on Twitter, use the show's Twitter address, which is @SportsTalk916. For Greg B., go to @MrChief916. And for me, Coach Greg, it's @Greg Veroza. And Veroza is Varozza. And if you want to chat live with us, the best place to go is go to the Mixler page and hit chat. There you'll see all of us chatting together as the show goes on.
What's up, everybody? Episode 209. Greg Bull and TJ Longacre coming at you from Sports Talk 916. WWE ran a little long, so we started a little late. TJ, how's it going, bud?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Can't complain. Gonna be a little bit of a light show tonight. We're gonna talk NFL draft pretty much, and we're gonna go from there. So, TJ, let me ask you a question, bud.
Yeah.
How did your team even draft?
They didn't draft until the third round, pick number 83.
Damn.
Yeah, when they picked Derek Rivers, defensive tackle out of Youngstown State.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They drafted 4 players this year. That's it.
Interesting. What's up, Samantha Kepler? I haven't seen that name pop up before. Not in here, at least. What's up, Sam? Thank you very much for joining. So we're going to talk a lot about the NFL draft, particularly the 49ers and the Oakland Raiders. Mm-hmm. Niners made a lot of moves that were great. The Raiders made an interesting pick with their first pick that it's kind of Raiders-esque. It's one of those things that, you almost expected it. But the NFL draft, man. But let's start with a few other things first. Giants dropped another game today.
Yep.
They can't seem to get out of their own way.
Yeah.
Ty Block looked great.
He was awesome.
He looked fantastic today.
He was awesome. They snatched defeat from the jaws of victory yet again.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with them. On the flip side of that, though, the Oakland A's seem to be playing, pretty good baseball.
They're playing better. They had a 5-game losing streak, which they snapped yesterday. But
here, let's hold on to the filter.
Okay.
No, the filter.
Filter.
And now put the filter in front of
like that.
There you go. Talk into the mic, not the filter.
Okay.
Hi guys, great to see the show is on. What's up, Barn Bomb?
Hey, Barn Bomb.
The A's are playing decent baseball. Who was their pitcher the other day? Graveman.
Graveman, yeah.
That unassisted double play was a thing of beauty.
That's amazing.
Ground ball back to him, runs the runner back to third base, tags him, turns around and dives into the sliding guy from second into third.
Right?
Hell of a play.
That was.
A lot of things going on today in baseball. Like I said, the Giants lost, Dodgers won. Last night the Dodgers had, and it kind of pains me to say this, but the Dodgers literally probably had one of the greatest ninth innings that I can remember.
Yeah.
It hurts, but, it's there.
Yeah.
And then on the flip side of that, the Nationals today. Did you see what the Nationals did today?
I heard something about...
So they played the Mets.
Yeah.
The Mets scored 5 runs today.
Oh, yeah.
Which is pretty good for baseball, right?
I remember now, yeah.
You know the name Anthony Rendon?
Oh, of course.
Okay, so Anthony Rendon today went 6 for 6.
Yeah.
3 home runs, 10 RBIs.
10 RBIs, yes.
The final score, Nationals 23, Mets 5.
Oof. That's amazing.
The Giants go to play the Mets in a couple of games. I would love to see them be able to put up like
Christian
8.
Arroyo, now's your
8.
time.
About that, let's see. Graveman had an out of this world unassisted double play. It was one of the top 10 plays of the season. I'll give you that. I mean, the season's like 6 days old, so sure you can have that, Mike, if that'll make you feel better. But yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like, woo, that was a fun play to watch.
That was nasty. It was very nasty.
You know, like I said, Last home run off backup catcher. 23 points off a home run off a backup catcher. The Nationals turned into the Redskins, scoring 23. No, because the Redskins would have found a way to lose.
Oh, absolutely.
What else has been going on? I mean, baseball's been one of those things where, I mean, the Giants today. So something interesting. So the Giants gave up the tie the game. The game gets tied off of a Hector Sanchez 2-run homer.
Yeah.
Hector Sanchez, as a Giant, had 129, I think it was, at bats as a Giant. Mm-hmm. In AT&T Park, he hit 2 home runs. Yeah. As a Padre, Hector Sanchez has 8 at-bats in AT&T Park. It has 2 home runs.
What the hell?
And one of them, unfortunately, came today, tying the
geez.
game, and then a big one at the end.
Will Myers.
Caused another loss. But good news came out of San Francisco, if you can call it good news. Madison Bumgarner, with his grade 1 separation of the shoulder or sprain of the shoulder, is looking at 3 to 4 months.
Yeah.
No surgery, which is, I guess, the good news. And then the bright spot, Christian Arroyo. What's funny is we talked about it last week on the show.
We did.
And I said it would be, I don't want to see him come up. It's going to be too early. He needs to mature. I was wrong.
Yeah.
Kid looks like he's ready. I mean,
absolutely.
I really just wish the Giants would make a decision. Either play him at short or play him at third.
Yeah.
Don't keep switching him with Gillespie and with Nunez, and Crawford's on the 10-day DL with the groin injury. Let's go ahead and leave Arroyo at third, and let Gillespie or Tomlinson or whoever it needs to be fill in at short. Don't keep switching him back and forth. Let him figure out a spot and stick to it.
Yeah, I nominate Tomlinson right away. He's been playing hot since he came up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get it. There was one television mention today about the Nationals. They are now the only team in Major League Baseball history to score 14-plus runs in 5 separate games with one single calendar month.
That's actually pretty amazing.
Good Lord. That's crazy.
That is.
What's his name? Harper set a record, Nationals record for most runs in a career or something like that as well.
Well, there's not a lot of history there, so that's not
true.
Much. Unless you count Montreal as their history, which I do, but I don't.
Right. Let's see. What else happened in the NFL? Fun fact. So, Marshawn Lynch signed with the Raiders.
Yes, he did.
2-year deal, and he looked happy as hell to be a Raider, man. It's like a childhood thing for him. Did you see the story, though, that Michael Vick contacted the Raiders to ask them if they had one more spot available?
I did not see that.
Yeah. Apparently, he wants to come out of retirement.
How old is he now? He's like 36, 37.
I don't know.
I think he's like 37, yeah.
Let's see. I'm trying to find the draft. After we went on the air last week, Adrian Peterson signed a 2-year deal for $7 million with the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah.
That pretty much forced Marshawn Lynch's hand, I believe.
I think so too.
It was, you're not going to get your money. It's time to sign.
It's like, yeah.
But from there it went crazy, and everything went pretty much, as expected into the draft. We talked about the Browns browning themselves.
Which they did not.
There was reports right up until day 1 of the draft that they weren't going to take Myles Garrett, which I'm glad that, in a sense, I'm glad they did, simply for the fact that I'm glad that we just don't have to hear about them screwing up.
Nope, we'll get to hear about Chicago screwing up.
We'll get to that for sure. Trying to share this here real quick here. All right, so Myles Garrett goes number 1 overall to the Cleveland Browns. The number 2 pick is San Francisco. San Francisco's on the clock, and immediately there is a trade, and
we have a trade.
We're like, okay, cool.
Okay,
Niners are going to move down. No big deal. I'm expecting maybe Jacksonville, because the Niners were linked to Leonard Fournette for a little bit. Mm-hmm. I'm expecting, I don't know.
Maybe Jamal Adams.
Yeah, someone's going to move up maybe for Adams.
Maybe Marshawn Lattimore, maybe.
Something crazy. And then all of a sudden it's like Chicago has traded up. And you're like, wait, what? Mm-hmm. Okay. that's cool. So maybe they're looking for, they're looking for the player that, the Niners wanted. And the talking heads on the stage were like, oh, it's a gentleman's phone call. The Niners are going to know who the Browns or the Bears are going to take. They're okay with it, yada, yada, yada. And, sorry, guys. And all of a sudden, it's like the Bears select Mitchell Trubisky, quarterback, UNC. And you're like, what? Like,
yeah.
So the Niners, who have not been linked to this kid at all, are sitting there at 2.
Not very much, at least.
Sitting there at 2, and the Bears are like, we want to move up. And you're like, cool, let's move up. And then all of a sudden, you look at it and you're like, so we get the 3, we get the 67, you get the 111, and you get a 3rd-round pick next year, and you get to draft the guy that you were going to draft anyways.
Exactly.
John Lynch is like, got it. Like, I'm good. I don't care what I do. My next pick could be nothing, apparently. What the hell? Come on, soundboard. You're ruining my life here. John Lynch gets off the phone and he's like, I can do whatever the hell I want to do. It doesn't matter. I could draft
A fucking punter!
if I wanted to. And no one could be mad. That fucking guy, that pirate up in San Francisco can't even yell at me if I draft a punter at this point because I'm the man. And then they get Solomon Thomas. And I'm like, cool. Big defensive end, a defensive tackle. You're going to put Armstead and Buckner and him on the line with Bowman.
Oh, that's going to be awesome.
And then you've got Reed in the backfield. That's going to be a hell of a run. Let's try to run. And then everything kind of goes as planned, and it starts going through, and, everything starts going through. And you're like, okay, Cleveland's going to take a quarterback at 12. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, there's another trade. And
well, there was a trade before that, too.
Right,
Buffalo.
Exactly. Yeah,
And Kansas City traded.
Buffalo or Kansas City trades up to 9.
10.
Right? 10.
10.
And they take
Patrick Mahomes from Texas Tech.
Right, and everyone's like, okay.
Which I had Patrick Mahomes going a little later than 10, but okay. Kansas City wanted to get a quarterback, kind of think of the future.
Crazy though, and you're like, okay,
yeah,
sure, that's fine. Which means the Browns at 12 are gonna go ahead and take probably a quarterback, right? They're gonna
probably go Deshaun Watson.
That's gonna be what happens, and you look at it and you're like, cool, all right. Chiefs get the Bills. Saints take Marshawn Lattimore. Here come the Browns. We have a trade. The Texans trade up from 25 to take Deshaun Watson, quarterback from Clemson.
Brilliant move.
And you're like, oh, shit. So the Browns didn't brown themselves in the first.
No.
But then they go ahead and browns themselves in the in the later part of the first at the 12th pick. And you're like, okay, whatever. We'll be cool with it. Whatever. That's the Browns. We're expecting it.
Honestly, I was cool with that move. I really was.
With the Texans jumping forward or the Browns giving it up?
No, the Browns trading back.
I don't know. They need a quarterback.
They got one, though.
Yeah, but they needed a better quarterback.
He's a project, but...
And then it comes down to 24. And...
Oh, here we go.
The Raiders are on the clock. And they take... First of all, I have a couple Raider fan buddies that are Michigan fans, and they were praying for Jabril Peppers.
Oh, yeah.
They would love him as a safety. But who do the Raiders take? Garyon Conley. For those of you that don't follow sports, Garyon Conley the week prior was accused of rape.
Yeah.
Fits the Raiders mold a little bit. However, the Ravens required to consider drafting him. The Ravens actually required him to come in and take a lie detector test.
Really?
Which he passed. So that apparently, levied some of the temptation to draft him or not. But then Jabril Peppers goes to the Browns at 25. And then TJ Watt little brother of J.J. Watt, goes to
Yeah.
the Steelers at 30. And then the 49ers, a trade comes through. The 49ers are back in the first round, and they take Reuben Foster, middle linebacker out of Alabama. Mm-hmm. And it turns out that John Lynch addresses the media, and their top 3 players on their draft board was Garrett Miles, or Miles Garrett.
Miles Garrett, yeah. Solomon Thomas,
and Reuben Foster.
Yeah.
So they got 2 of their top 3 guys on their board in the first round,
Fantastic, yeah.
and they were able to do so at the 31st pick, taking Reuben Foster.
Yeah.
If the Bears would have jumped ahead and taken Solomon Thomas, the Niners were going to take Reuben Foster at 3.
I believe that.
That's how high they had him. They were able to get both of them.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have Armstead, Buckner, Thomas, Bowman, and Reuben Foster. Who is going to run against the 49ers defense?
Not many people.
It's going to be ridiculous. It's going
is.
to be one of those things where it's like, okay, you want to run against us? Cool. Good luck.
It kind of shows you also that John Lynch is kind of a defensive-minded GM here.
Well, he did say in the very beginning that for the free agency, they're going to go offense, which they did.
They
and
did.
for the draft, they're going to go defense.
Yeah. By the way, but going back to Garyon Conley, look who I had the Raiders have at 24.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, TJ, what, you nailed 5 in the first round?
I think I got 6. Yeah, 5 or 6. Which ain't bad because a lot of teams moved. A lot of teams moved around in the first round, so yeah.
Interesting. So then we get to the second round. Not a lot happened in the second round. The 49ers did not have a second round pick. The Raiders also did not have a second round pick, if I'm not mistaken. But the Browns did get their quarterback. They got Deshaun Kaiser at 20, 52 overall in the second round from Notre Dame.
Not bad.
How do you feel about that?
I actually think for a second round pick, I thought it was good. I think he's going to be a project guy. He may not start this year, maybe next year. Although Hugh Jackson is saying that he could have a shot at the starting job.
There's already stuff saying that he's going to be the starting quarterback.
Ooh.
And I don't know if that's a good idea, to be completely honest with you.
Well, they were 1-15. What do they have to lose?
That one game. I mean,
I don't know,
I
though.
just don't know. That's a really risky proposition to take, is taking a quarterback like that, who you want to be your quarterback of the future, and throwing him to the wolves like they were going to be doing. But I don't know. Oh, wait a minute. Where was it?
I do like the David Njoku pick they had in the late first round.
That was a good pick.
That was an awesome pick.
The Cowboys,
Bravo.
however, got the pick of the day at 28 in the first round.
Love this guy.
From Michigan.
Love this guy for his name.
They took Taco Charlton.
Yes.
This motherfucker's name is Taco.
I love it.
You think that's his birth name?
No, I know for a fact that it's not his
What
birth
is his birth name?
I don't know.
It's not Taco, though?
I'd have to look it up here.
That's disappointing.
I am disappointed by that too. But
I'm going to slide this a little bit closer to you.
oh yeah.
Let's see. 49ers, third round, second pick, 66 overall, take Akilo Witherspoon from Colorado. He's a 6'3" cornerback. Mm-hmm. He went to Christian Brothers here in Sacramento.
He sure did.
He lives in Natomas.
Uh-huh.
And I am bugging the hell out of him on social media trying to get him on the show.
That'd be fantastic.
Niners traded away the 67th pick to the Saints. And then they traded back in late third.
They did to get C.J. Beathard.
C.J. Beathard, quarterback out of Iowa. Now, a lot of people aren't really sure about this. They're not really sure how to feel about it. They could have taken Webb out of Cal.
Davis Webb, yeah.
Oh, wait, no. Webb was gone at that point, wasn't he?
What?
Yeah, Davis Webb
Oh,
was
he
with
was.
the Giants at
You're
23.
right, yeah.
But they still could have taken, if they didn't trade back with the Saints, they could have taken Webb.
Mm-hmm.
But I was trying to play devil's advocate on the kid because Veroza had texted us
Yeah.
and was like, I don't like it. It's not a good pick. I forgot I was sending all those weird memes. So he completed 57% of his passes. His junior year, he had like 2,800 yards. His senior year, he only had 1,900 yards. But he played in a pro system. He played majority of his games under center, and he played out of the shotgun. Not out of the pistol, not in the spread, but in a pro offense.
And he led them to the playoffs a couple of years ago.
He did lead them to the playoffs.
That's fantastic.
And not only that, but the pro system is going to be big. And you have to remember that you have Kyle Shanahan as your quarterback. Or as your coach. Kyle Shanahan is essentially one of the quarterback gurus. I mean, he knows how to mold the quarterback.
Yeah.
This kid has a potential to sit back and learn. And to put in comparison, Alex Smith, when he came out of Utah, didn't know how to drop back from center.
No.
He played extremely, only in the pistol. This kid plays, again, pro system. Mitchell Trubinsky, who went number 2 overall, admitted in an interview before the draft that he did not know what a hard count was.
Yeah.
If you're a quarterback at a professional level, how in the hell do you not know what a hard count is?
Seriously.
You never heard Omaha? Like, that was one of Manning's hard counts.
Yeah.
You've never heard a quarterback yell, hut, and nothing happened? You never thought as a quarterback you'd go, hey, coach, see what he did right there? Why? What does that mean?
Seriously.
Oh, that's a hard count. That's a way to try to get the other guys off sides. Oh, I should try using that. He never once did that. Jeez. He never played Madden and accidentally hit the right bumper that does a hard count. He's like, why didn't he snap the ball? Like, you got to be kidding me.
No wonder he got booed at the Bulls game on Friday night.
Oh, that's just because Chicago fans are ruthless.
Yeah, but still. Yeah.
Barn Mom. So when? Hold on.
What did? Uh-oh.
Damn it, Barn Bomb.
What now?
When it comes to the new look 49ers defense, as you described it, Greg, it begs one question. Who's got it better than us? Oh. Nobody.
Hi, this is Mike Barnbaum.
2011 called They Want That Phrase Back.
My T-shirt hanging in my closet called it wants its phrase back. I will say draft night, the tweet of the night went to one of those parody Sports Center accounts.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you saw it or not, but it basically said that the Cleveland Browns had filed a lawsuit against the Chicago Bears for copyright infringement for making the, quote, worst move of the draft after trading the number 2 pick for the 49ers.
They did, though.
It was terrible.
Oh, man.
Continuing on.
How about Takaris McKinley? The guy that the Falcons drafted, he'd hold up the picture of his grandmother.
So I didn't see that. Go ahead and elaborate on that.
Okay, so Takk McKinley gets drafted by the Falcons with their draft pick. I think they had moved up to get him, and he's got a picture of his grandmother who passed away. I guess she had raised him or something, and he was just so fired up. He was talking with Deion Sanders, and he was like leading this really big rally cry, and he eventually let out an F-bomb on live television. I'm just
is that what happened?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm just like, you're on live, right? and he's all, oh, sorry about my language. Find me later, Goodell. Basically like that.
That's awesome.
But it was
he
stole the show.
I didn't know that he dropped an F-bomb. All I saw was he was
yeah.
holding a picture up of his grandmother.
Yeah, he was so like emotional. It was.
Hey, you know
He
what?
stole the show on that one.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Let him have it. Let's see. Let's just continue down the draft board here. Raiders at 24,
Yeah,
88
Conley.
overall. No, took Eddie Vanderdoes.
Oh,
defensive
yeah.
tackle out of UCLA.
Via Auburn, Placer High.
Okay, so he's
Yeah.
a Northern California kid.
Yeah. 'Cause one of my friends on Facebook had said, congratulations, Eddie. I might have to get a Raiders jersey now because of you, man. That's awesome.
Nice. Let's see. So CJ Beathard, as we mentioned for the Niners, was taken at 104. Moving along to the 4th round. Let's see here. I'm just scrolling through looking for... You said the Patriots chose in what round?
Their first one was in the 3rd round, pick number 83, I believe.
And they took who?
It was Derek Rivers out of Youngstown State.
Fucking take a smaller college.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Oh, they did better. 2 picks later, they got Antonio Garcia out of Troy.
Oh, at least you heard of Troy.
Oh yeah.
Let's see, 49ers.
Thank you to Marcus Ware.
Yeah, the 49ers in the 4th round at pick number 121 took Joe Williams, running back out of Utah.
Okay.
I've heard a lot of good things about him.
Actually, I have
A lot of people said that he could be one of the next big up and coming running backs. Should everything play out properly for him, might be a very good compliment for Carlos Hyde. And if you've ever paid attention to anything that Kyle Shanahan's done, D'Angelo Williams, or not D'Angelo Williams, I'm sorry. I just drew a complete blank on every running back that Atlanta had last year.
Oh,
Devontae Freeman.
yeah, and Tevin Coleman.
And Coleman. Both
Yeah.
of those guys, mid to late round running backs who flourished under the system
Absolutely.
in Atlanta. So there's
Yeah.
there's some hope there. Raiders at number 129 came in and took David Sharp, offensive tackle out of Florida. If you know anything about college football, you know Florida produces I shouldn't say relatively, they produce very good offensive linemen.
That's true.
That's something they've always been known for.
yeah.
At 131, the Patriots traded up from Seattle and they took Dietrich Weiss, a defensive end out of Arkansas. Big country boy there.
Yep.
Let's see, continuing down the line.
I'll bet you anything he probably worked at like Long John Silver's or something, and that's why they took him.
Right. He's like, oh, you played lacrosse? Sign you up.
Because Malcolm Butler worked at Popeyes, and
If I ever have to buy a jersey, I'm buying the new Denver Broncos tight ends jersey. Jake Butt,
oh, I love that guy. Did you hear about him?
tight end out of Michigan. No, I did not hear about him.
For every pick that he didn't get selected, he got $100,000 on an insurance policy.
Really?
Yes,
So he got $144,000?
at least.
Wow.
No, yeah, it was I think it was
he took
$100,000.
he got 145. He got taken at 145.
Yeah, that's like $1.45 million.
Yeah.
That's
Oh yeah, you said 100,000 each.
that's amazing.
Damn. And then the 49ers, in an attempt to make their new quarterback CJ Beathard comfortable, they took his tight end George Kittle
There you go.
out of Iowa, and there's reports saying that he was one of the best blocking tight ends in the league in the college class.
Nice.
He just has to develop as a pass catcher, which kind of worries me since he's the tight end. But speaking of tight ends, the 49ers made it clear that Vance McDonald was on the trading block. And
That actually surprised me.
when they asked about it, John Lynch said, well, we're in the middle of a regime change, and his extension happened before the season ended, and he was available. And Kyle Shanahan said, you know what, we're in a business right now where we want to make ourselves better at every single position available. He said that goes from players to coaches to everyone involved. He said if the New England Patriots called tomorrow and offered Tom Brady for me, he said I would expect John Lynch and upper management to make the deal because it makes the team better.
Yeah.
And to me, that is a giant round of applause. I don't even know if I should have checked to see if I even have this one. That is a huge applause to goddamn, stop clapping, to the front office, because transparency is key, and that's something that the old regime never did.
Yeah. They
never once indicated anything was actually a business, and to me that's huge because it's saying, look, no one is better than anyone else on the team, and if we can't get better at tight ends, then Vance is still one of our tight ends, and he's going to play, and he can thrive in our system, and Kyle Shanahan also called Vance McDonald. He was at a wedding. He texted him and said, we'll talk on Monday. So he understands it's a business, which is great.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know what? You can't be fluffing people's feathers. If we're going to get better with you being gone, we're going to get better with you being gone. It's part of the business. Have a good day.
Yeah.
And I like that a lot.
Yeah. I do like Vance McDonald, though. I think he's a very
So do
good
I.
player.
I think he deserves that extension he got. Barnbaum. The ACC, the SEC, the Pac-12, the Big 12, and the Big 10 always produce great talent when it comes to NFL draft. The Big Sky had 2 players drafted. Both attended Eastern Washington, and both were drafted by the Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp was one of them. I like that pick for them.
Yeah, Barnbaum mentioned that a minute ago, and I ignored it, so he had to rephrase it apparently. He's like, read my damn comment.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp. I played on that big red field up there in Eastern Washington.
I still say Jake Butt so far has the best name.
Really? Better than Taco Charlton?
Yeah, because the back of the jersey says "but."
That's true.
The front of the jersey is going to say Carlton, or Charlton.
Yeah.
I
like tacos, though.
See. Yeah, tacos are good.
They are good.
Let's see. Back to the draft here. 49ers. That was the Niners pick. The Colts took. Let's see. Continuing to scroll here. 49ers took Trent Taylor, wide receiver out of Louisiana Tech. Mm-hmm. He's a little guy, 5'8", 181 pounds.
These slot receivers, though, are at a premium right now.
Kyle Shanahan said that he feels that was the best slot receiver in the draft.
Yeah.
And if anything, he'll be a special teams return guy.
There you go.
Because right now all they have is Jeremy Curley as a return guy, and that's not going to work.
No, it's not.
And what's his name? Pierre Garçon's a little bit too old to be
I agree.
returning kicks.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, slot receivers, they are at a premium.
Definitely.
Teams are snapping them up. I saw a tweet from Cole Beasley today praising that.
Nice.
I was like, yeah, that's pretty darn cool. Slot receivers are coming up in the world.
All right, we're back into the 6th round now. Pick number 198. 49ers took DJ Jones, defensive tackle out of Mississippi.
Okay.
And then at the 202nd pick, they took outside linebacker Pita Tamumupino out of Utah. Okay.
Samoan guy, obviously.
Yep, obviously he's probably huge.
Yeah. Usually those Pac-12 schools like those Samoan guys, so.
And then let's see, the Raiders took Shalom Luani, a 5'11 safety out of Washington State with pick 221.
Okay.
49ers took Adrian Colbert, defensive back out of Miami at 229.
Mm-hmm.
Raiders took Jalen Ware, offensive tackle out of Alabama. This is a big boy. 6'8", 295 pounds.
Wow.
That dude's a beast.
That's fantastic.
From Alabama State, sorry.
Alabama State, okay.
Let's see. Raiders took Elijah Hood, running back out of North Carolina at 242.
Who I've heard has modeled his game after Marshawn Lynch.
Yes, which will be interesting.
That's going to be, yeah.
And Mr. Relevant.
Yes.
Mississippi's quarterback to the Denver Broncos, Chad Kelly.
Nephew of Jim Kelly.
Is it?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting.
Very interesting. Who's had some off the field issues himself, which is probably why he was Mr. Irrelevant this year.
Maybe.
But yeah, what a draft.
All right, and then let's go ahead and move on to the undrafted free agents because there's some pretty interesting ones that came out. So let's see. We'll just go through them real quick here. Arizona Cardinals, we don't really care about. Falcons don't matter. Ravens, who cares? Not even going to try to pronounce that damn guy's name. Let's put it this way. He has... Quincy's his first name. Last name is Adeboyejo. Adeboyejo.
Yeah, you got me.
Yeah.
The Niners had a guy. They signed an undrafted free agent.
Hold on.
Quarterback.
Chicago Bears. Let's just add to the weird. You ready?
Okay.
So they signed Joel Buchanan, running back from Northern Illinois. Tanner Gentry, wide receiver, Wyoming. Diego Joseph, offensive tackle, Florida International. Andy Phillips, kicker from Utah. Freddie Stevenson's fullback, Florida State. And Franco House, basketball forward out of Ball State.
What? Any relation to Eddie?
I don't know, but why the hell are they signing a forward?
What is he, the next Antonio Gates?
That's got to be a typo. Please tell me that's a fucking typo.
Ryan Pace is not going to have a job next year.
He may not have a job tomorrow.
Oh, man. If he doesn't, I am applying for it.
No kidding.
Oh, man.
What team was it that signed Junior's kid?
Oh, the Colts.
Yeah, he's not on here. He's not on this list. Indianapolis Colts did sign
Trey Griffey.
King Griffey Jr.'s son, wide receiver, which is pretty cool. Los Angeles Chargers, Los Angeles Rams. That just looks weird.
It does.
Vikings.
It hits the year wrong.
It does.
Especially Los Angeles Chargers.
Patriots signed a whole goddamn gang of people.
Yeah. Basically everybody who works at JCPenney.
Raiders took a defensive end out of Ole Miss, a tight end out of Oregon, a safety out of Rutgers, a wide receiver out of Arkansas, defensive back out of Louisiana, offensive lineman out of USC, wide receiver out of USC, and Ishmael Zamora, wide receiver out of Baylor, who a lot of people are saying might have been one of the better wide receivers in the draft.
That's awesome.
The 49ers, Katie Cannon was the Baylor wide receiver that many people were saying were one of the best wide receivers in the draft, but he had some off-the-field issues that people were a little bit worried about. They also signed Nick Mullins, quarterback out of Southern Mississippi. Well, those are the two big ones that matter.
Okay.
Barnbaum's commenting. Did you receive from Matt Mayoko any of the names that are undrafted free agents? There was one that NFL Network highlighted out of St. Francis in Pennsylvania. I forget his name. I can.
Not sure, Mike.
I can do Francis and see if anything comes up. Francis Owusu. That's not who you're thinking. Francis Calone. Francisco. 49ers signed Lorenzo Jerome, safety out of St. Francis, Mike, if that's who you're looking for.
Okay.
Know nothing about him.
Yeah, same.
Absolutely nothing about him.
There was a quarterback that they signed, though.
Nick Mullins, quarterback out of Southern Miss.
That's right. I wasn't sure if he was from Wyoming or Southern Miss, because when I saw the picture of him, it looked like he was from Wyoming.
So let me ask you this, TJ.
Yeah.
The Raiders, they didn't have a lot of draft picks. Aside from the one head scratcher, really, they addressed quite a few needs.
They did.
What grade do you give the Raiders?
I give them a solid B.
A solid B.
I do, because
they're almost borderline like inconclusive. There really wasn't a lot going on.
Well, there's also not a lot they really needed to, there weren't a whole lot of splash moves they really needed to make. Because
I honestly think that their best move of the draft was Marshawn Lynch, to be completely honest with you. And that wasn't even a draft move, obviously, but it's pretty close.
I mean, this isn't like this is a team that's rebuilding. I mean, they went to the playoffs last year. They're pretty set at a lot of spots.
Barnbaum, I agree with you on this one. The stadium situation for the Chargers sucks for this and next season. They will be playing the StubHub Center, which has seating capacity that is 1/3 the size of an NFL stadium.
Here's the thing about that, though. They're trying to build a fan base there.
They are.
I mean, if you go to play in like the LA Coliseum or in the Rose Bowl, you're not going to sell that place out.
Nope.
Those places have 100,000 seats. The StubHub Center makes perfect sense.
It does, because honestly, I don't know where they're going to find fans for the Rams, for the Chargers, and essentially for the Raiders. In Vegas.
Yeah.
I still think though that the Raiders should be playing in Vegas. They should not be playing in Oakland the next couple of years.
I agree. As far as the Chargers though, they had an awesome draft.
They did.
They did. Mike Williams was there.
Yeah, that pissed me off. I would have loved to see Mike Williams somehow fall to the Niners.
I did not expect him to go to the Chargers at all. No. Titans did well too.
Titans did very well. How do you think? Let me ask this: going back to the Raiders, the addition of Marshawn Lynch, essentially, assuming he comes back in full, no pun intended, beast mode. Do you think that that's what they were missing to get them over the top? Obviously, aside from a healthy a Derek Carr with the moves they made in the offseason, do you think the Raiders are a legitimate? I mean, I know it's April. Barnbaum said it earlier, you don't win championships in April.
It's true.
Do you think that they're got to be considered contenders at this point?
I think in a sense, yeah. I like the pickup of Lynch. I like the offense that they have already. You lose a Latavius Murray, and who else do you have to replace him with? Not very many guys.
No, but you have Marshawn Lynch to replace him.
Yeah.
And then they also took that other running back, who we mentioned that said he geared his game off of Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah.
Which I think would be good. It's going to be good. So let's move on across the bay. What grade do you give the San Francisco 49ers?
Oh, they get an A. They get an A for the moves they made, not only just to trade down one spot to get more draft picks, but to trade back up and get a high quality guy in Reuben Foster, who, he's had some shoulder concerns, and he had that drug, diluted drug sample at the combine, but he seems like he's a humble guy about what's happened. And
the cool thing about that too is he mentioned that he grew up being a 49er fan, which a lot of them tend to say, right? They're always like, "Oh yeah, I was a fan."
Yeah,
you're like, you were not a fan of the Browns. Shut up! Like no one is, right?
Yeah, it's like when Adrian Gonzalez went to the Red Sox. He's all, "Oh yeah, I was always a Red Sox fan."
No,
my ass.
So he says he's always been a 49er fan. If you look through his Instagram posts, back on Thanksgiving of 2015. There's a photo of him sitting down at family dinner wearing a 49ers beanie.
There you go.
One of the little puffy ball top beanies.
I love those.
And then yesterday he went through his old photo, or went through his closets and found an old 49ers Letterman jacket that he's had when he was a
Nice.
kid. So he's been a 49er fan. He said he modeled his game off of Patrick Willis,
Nice.
and now he has an opportunity to hopefully be the next Patrick Willis. If he can even be a microcosm of Patrick Willis, I'm all for
Yeah.
it.
Let him wear number 52 and see where it goes.
Right. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
The other thing is, Lynch made 6 trades. Mm-hmm. That's unheard of for a first time GM to be that comfortable.
Yeah.
And all of them were good. I mean, he got 2 or 3 additional picks for next year. He got a lot of good picks for this year.
Yeah, he did.
You got 2 of your 3 top people on your board. And, it's a win. I mean,
Yeah.
The only thing I wish they would have done, but they got the kid out of Baylor, the wide receiver out of Baylor. I mean, I wish they would have addressed a better wide receiver option, but if this kid who, they're saying was one of the best wide receivers in the game, aside from some off the field issues, and then they got the slot receiver kid that we talked about too, they may have hit a home run on the draft, and we just don't know it yet.
Exactly.
I'm glad they didn't reach for a quarterback. I'm glad they didn't go after a Kaiser or a Watson. A third-round pick on a quarterback essentially is a safe bet, especially if next year they cut Barkley, they cut Hoyer, and if they're able to make a deal with Kirk Cousins, then you have this CJ
CJ
Beathard. He sits and he learns behind one of the better quarterbacks in the league. And who knows, the Niners could be absolutely terrible this year, and they can draft the kid out of Washington next year if they get a top pick.
Or the kid out of USC, Darno.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of
Brown.
options next year if they need to get a quarterback, if they don't think they can get Kirk Cousins. And obviously, before the draft, they'll know if they have Cousins or not. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
I think Lynch definitely gets an A. Some people gave him as low as a B+, just because of the fact that he didn't address the offense. But I'm all for it. I am a big fan. Carmichael Dave, after the first round, said that John Lynch already secured his spot as a Hall of Fame general manager with day 1 of the draft. I don't know if I'll go that far.
Yeah, same.
I
I will say this, though. It's not going to take him 6 years to rebuild this team.
No, it's not going to take
Not at
him
all.
6 years at all. And that is exciting as a 49er fan for sure.
Yeah.
I will say, though, because it just popped back in my head, I am a big fan, or I am jealous a little bit. Jake Brandon, thanks, Mike. I am a big fan of the Broncos, and I'm jealous of their fans. They got a guy named Butt.
They did.
The only thing that sucks, I think he's like an offensive lineman, which means you're
No, he's a tight end.
Oh, he is a tight end, so you may be able to buy a Butt jersey.
Oh, you can.
Let's make a bold prediction right now. Rookie jersey sales. Do you think Butt tops the list?
I think he's in the top 5.
Top 5?
Absolutely.
Just out of parody?
Just because of that name alone. Absolutely.
I would buy a Butt jersey just to have it,
I
and then get him to
believe that.
sign it. Do you think if I buy his jersey and mail it to him, he'd sign it and send it back?
Absolutely.
Be like, I'm not even a fan, but your name is hella funny.
Yeah.
Oh man, Silas Rams bottom. Bottom.
There actually is a guy on the Rams with my last name.
Yeah?
Yeah.
See if you're a Rams fan.
I
You
know.
could. I mean, shit, you're a fucking weird ass Edmonton Oilers fan.
Yes, I am.
You could be a Rams fan
I
too.
could.
Speaking of Oilers, they're in the second round. They're up 2-1.
They are up 2-1. Disappointing game tonight, but you know what? It's the Stanley Cup playoffs. Anything can happen, and anything did happen tonight. And Anaheim got 6 goals. You know, this Anaheim's always been a tough team. But you know what? The Oilers are gonna bounce back. I think in Game 4.
How's the other Western Conference series going?
Nashville is up 2-1 on the Blues. I think that series is gonna go. I think it's gonna go 6.
Who would you rather play?
Nashville.
Yeah,
Absolutely. The reason why, because they're just like the Oilers, inexperienced, young. St. Louis has too many guys who are too good.
awesome. So
Yeah.
we'll wrap this up with some WWE talk.
Okay.
As mentioned, it was WWE Payback tonight. The show opened up with Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens for the United States Championship.
Chris Jericho from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada.
That's right. And Chris Jericho, rumor has it that his contract for this run with the WWE actually expires tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
Which is a bummer because, and I don't think it's true now, because Chris Jericho won the United States Championship over Kevin Owens, and now he's going to SmackDown, which means Jericho won't be in Sacramento tomorrow night at Golden One Center, which bums me out because I really wanted to see him.
That's an outrage.
So he won't be there, but he did win the U.S. Championship. He's headed to SmackDown. Alexa Bliss. Oh God, Alexa Bliss shocked the world and beat Bayley for the Women's Championship in Bayley's hometown of San Diego. So we most likely will get to see a Bayley Bliss rematch, hopefully tomorrow night. Alexa Bliss is smoking hot. She's 5'1". She's barely taller than the top rope.
That's awesome.
She rocks the Harley Quinn dyed hair at the bottom of the hair.
Yeah.
She's got an ass to die for. It was cool. She won that. The Hardys retained their championship over Cesaro and Sheamus. The rookie butt, no pun intended, will be the butt of all jokes presented by Beavis and Butthead.
Huh?
Hi, this is Mike Barnbaum.
Damn it, Mike. You distracted me over my talk about Alexa Bliss's butt.
I know, I'm trying to read that, but I'm old and I can't see.
Let me show you a picture of Alexa Bliss here, TJ. Hold on.
Well, yeah, I saw her on the thing when I came by.
Oh, she was. Oh, that's right. That match was already on. Huh?
Oh, yeah.
But look at that picture of her.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Right? Yeah, she's
That's fantastic.
smoking hot. About to make that
yeah.
my background. Just kidding. I'm not going to replace my kids. The Hardys won. Bray Wyatt beat Randy Orton, and Braun Strowman whooped the hell out of Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins beat Samoa Joe. Matt Hardy lost a tooth in their match, much like Isaiah Thomas lost a tooth.
I was just going to say, yeah, he sure did.
Overall, though, out of a 10 score, unfortunately, I give this pay-per-view like a 4.5.
Really?
It was lame. It was slow. It was boring.
We did see an ambulance door fly off, though. That was
Yeah,
pretty
the
cool.
ambulance door got broken off. I guess that was kind of cool. And I thought that shit disappeared. I'm like,
Yeah.
what the hell? It like vanished.
You had to
and
replay that.
a box fell in front of it, so it wasn't as cool. But yeah, I mean, you don't come around for many wrestling things. You weren't too enthralled by it. Nothing really grabbed your attention.
Well, I was just watching it.
But tomorrow night at Golden One Center for the very first time is Monday Night Raw. It's a Monday Night Raw after pay-per-view, so typically those are much better than a go-home show, so hopefully that helps. And it'll be fun. My kids are going to Raw for the very first time. My wife will be going to her very first Raw.
Oh, nice.
And we're actually working the event with WWE, which is going to be really cool.
That's pretty cool.
So we have to be there at 2, which is going to be
Really?
crazy for a 5 o'clock show to meet with producers.
Okay.
But basically, WWE, as you know, it's scripted. Calm down. Veroza, if you're listening, it's not 100% real.
No.
Calm down. But one of their main things is production value, and they want everything to be smooth. And one of the things that they don't like to show is empty seats in the arena.
Yeah.
So every event, they have 50 to 60 people that they bring in as seat fillers.
Mm-hmm.
They sit off camera, and if, let's say, you're sitting there with your kids or with your friends, whatever you go with, and you get up to go to the concession stand or the bathroom, or you're like, this is fucking stupid, I'm going home.
Yeah.
And you get up and leave, WWE notices that, and they go, 3, go, and they send you over there.
Oh, yeah.
And you sit in those seats until the people come back, because the risk of a camera shot showing an empty seat is something that Vince McMahon and those guys don't want. So
Yeah.
we got brought in for this event as seat fillers, so we get to essentially float the arena and
That's
sit where we need to sit.
fantastic. It's kind of like the Academy Awards. They do that, too.
Yeah, I might just check in and be like, oh, hey, cool, and then just go away. And just go find some empty seats somewhere and sit down, you know what I mean? And not really, float around. But, no, it'll be cool. We get lower level
That is
seats.
cool.
We
Yeah.
get to hang out. And very much looking forward to seeing my kids go crazy when Bailey and those other performers come out. So
That's pretty cool.
TJ, that's pretty much it, man. Do you have anything you wanted to throw in? Any midweek happenings that you want to talk about or feel like it's important?
Nothing that comes to mind. I do have odds and ends coming out tomorrow. I do have a Giants column coming out tomorrow. 900th entry's coming up pretty soon.
How far away from 900?
Let's see. We just did 895 today with the top 8 list, so we'll have 896 and 897 tomorrow.
Mike says WWE is scripted. It is not real. Mike, you are 100% correct, and I thank you for not saying it's fake because these guys get hurt.
They do
and
get
it's
hurt.
Not,
yeah.
That part's not fake, but yes, the outcome is scripted. You are absolutely correct.
Yeah, the pain's real. But...
The pain's real, the broken teeth and the busted up foreheads and the, whatever else you want to call is real, for sure.
It's like Judge Judy. The cases are real. The people are real.
The rulings
It's
are
final.
predetermined, and everyone gets paid whether you win or lose on the show.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
You win, it's funny, I guess, if you win a Judge Judy case, you actually get paid the judgment, and then the show pays it for the losing person, and you still get a stipend for being on the show. And
Yeah, it's like when people go on like talk shows, they get paid scale.
should we go strong with baseball on the rest of on the next 2 to 3 weeks of sports talk on 916?
We'll see.
I was listening to the pregame show today, and they made a really good point about talking too much about the happenings of a season right now. And that is that it is, what do they say? They called it, what the hell was the term they used? It's a
Like the honeymoon phase?
No, it's a baseball term about, was it showing your pitches? No, it was something like that. Damn it, I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah.
Calling your pitches. I don't remember exactly what it was, but
Yeah.
basically, if the Giants were 16-9 or 19-6, as opposed to 6-19, now 6-20, which I don't think they are. They're
9 and 17.
9-17.
Yes.
So if they were 17-9,
Yeah.
then we would be saying, look how great this team is. They're going to win it all. They have a great thing, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But because they're 7-19, we're looking at it going, oh, well, you can't win it all in April. There's no way to win it all in April. You have to wait, blah, blah, blah. There's no way to really determine what's going on in baseball. It's a two-sided sword. Mm-hmm. The A's may be playing great now and they may flounder. Perfect example last season. The Giants had the best record in baseball going to the All-Star break, and then they sucked a big fat one at the end.
They sure did.
So for me, I find that it's a little bit repetitive, a little bit redundant to talk too heavy of baseball. Unless something big happens, it's going to be more touchy stuff. We're going to touch on it. We're going to move on. Mm-hmm. Next week's show, we're going to have the next round of the Stanley Cup playoffs essentially decided, or damn near close. NBA playoffs are going to be close to moving on. We're going to have a pretty clear picture of what's going to happen in that round.
NBA draft lottery will have been determined.
Yeah, the draft lottery will be talked about, and then
Tuesday.
we could really start talking about the NBA draft. That's what Barnbaum just said there. The NBA draft lottery is May 16th.
Yes, it is.
But so is History of the Kings dinner at the Golden One Center. I suggest some Kings and draft talk on Sunday.
The 16th is the draft lottery? Wow.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be this Tuesday.
This is the Sunday weekend before Memorial, whatever.
Okay.
But yeah, so Mike, we'll mix some things in. We're not gonna go too heavy on baseball. Hopefully TJ and I can maybe get out to a Rivercats game on the next homestand, get some
that'd be
stories
fun.
and some audio from that.
Oh yeah.
And we'll go from there. But we'll kind of play it by ear, Mike. It's a little. This is kind of the gray area of our hobby here. It's a little dry.
Yeah.
This time of year, so we'll make it work for you, Mike. Mike, I definitely want to give you a big thank you for the shout-outs and the preparation. Facebook messages, letting people know that Mixlr is out. And Facebook Live is the exclusive way to listen to us live. Obviously, we're still on Podomatic and we're still on iTunes for your podcasting pleasure. But as for the support, Mike, we always do appreciate it. We're
Absolutely,
17. Mike. No. We're at 463. 37 likes away on Facebook from 500
That's
for our
awesome.
page. I'll be at the Rivercats May 19th to 21st. Mike, I'm going to try to make it out to one of those games. I'll definitely come out and see you. I know it's the Nashville series against the A's affiliate, so we'll definitely try to get out there for that. But if you can, share, Mike. Share the page. Share it to your friends and family that are sports fans. TJ, if you could do the same.
Absolutely.
Let's see if we can push 500. It'd be great to get up to 500 likes and 500 followers.
I finally got up to 200 not too long ago.
Nice. I need to catch we need to catch Twitter. Our Twitter feed, our Twitter account right now is at like 1,100.
Yeah.
I just wish half those people would follow on
I
Facebook.
finally got 100 followers.
I used a lot of Twitter, though, during the King Saga and everything like that.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we'll continue to work on the 49ers draft pick out of Sacramento. We'll continue to work on Rivercats audio and get ready for that No Ham Stand. Do you have a credential I can get and join you two on one of those dates? Mike, I'll have to check. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Let me know what games you're going to, and we'll see what we can do for that. I'm not sure if I have floating credentials that they'll allow me to use, but I will look into it. There's also a Sirens game coming up in the next 2 weeks around
that's
that
the
time
13th,
as well. The 13th. So we'll definitely have coverage for that. That is the final home game of the season for the Sirens, and we'll keep you guys all up to date. So that's about it for TJ. I'm Greg, for Greg Veroza, who's sitting at home mending from his surgery, who's doing extremely well from what I hear. That wraps up episode 209. We will be back next Sunday night, hopefully right at 8 o'clock. There is no wrestling to inebriate me and delay the start of the show. So, TJ, appreciate you coming on again, bud. We will see you next week.
Yes.
Later, guys. Thank you, Facebook Live.
Peace.